WrestleMania 40 was one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. But have you ever thought what would happen if the results of every match would be completely reversed? That's what we're gonna take a look at it today, analyzing what would happen if every WrestleMania match was reversed. We're gonna start with the actual opening match of WrestleMania 40, the Women's World Championship match where the winner of the 2024 Women's Elimination Chamber match, Becky Lynch, challenges the Women's World Champion herself, Rhea Ripley, for the Women's World title. This was a huge match and high expectations were around this title matchup, but what would happen if Becky Lynch could hit the manhandle slam from the top and pin Rhea Ripley? In that case, she would be the Women's World Champion by winning the title at the grandest stage of them all. But the thing is, there wouldn't be much difference, because at last Becky Lynch won the Women's World title by winning the Battle Royal, so Liv Morgan could be still here, targeting Rhea Ripley, taking her out and injuring her, and then go after the Women's World Championship and challenge the man, Becky Lynch, for the Women's World title at King and Queen of the Ring premium live event in Saudi Arabia. Not a very big difference compared to what really happened, so Liv Morgan could defeat Becky Lynch in the way she did with the help of Dominic Mysterio to win the Women's World Championship. The only difference is Becky's title reign would have been a lot better. But next, we have the 6-pack ladder match for the tag team titles. Overall, we have 30 different results possible for this matchup, but we're only going to look at what would happen if teams other than Judgment Day, The Awesome Truth, or A-Town Down Under would have won the title. We're gonna start with one of the most decorated tag teams in the history of WWE, The New Day. If after Kofi launched himself to take his opponents out in the ringside, Xavier Woods managed to climb the ladder to pick up the Raw Tag titles, they would be now WWE Tag Team Champions. In this case, nothing important would be changed, except for one thing. And that thing is when they get into a rivalry with Karrion Kross, while he is trying to convince Xavier Woods to leave the New Day, the tag titles would make this rivalry seem much more important than it really is right now. So at the end, Xavier Woods is convinced, so he turns on Kofi Kingston and joins the Final Testament. And that's why Karrion Kross has a more dominant faction now because of Xavier Woods, so at the end, they relinquish the tag team titles, which after that it could be won by the Judgment Day or even the Creed brothers, aka American Made. But what if this tag team, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa DIY, would have won the tag titles at WrestleMania? What if after that huge white noise from the top that Tommaso Ciampa delivered to Tyler Bate, he could manage to get back up to his feet and climb the ladder and grab the titles from up there? In this case, their tag team title win would be in a much bigger stage, and of course the biggest stage of them all. So they could prove themselves as a dominant and deserved tag team, and they can beat everybody in the tag team division, so they could show off their abilities. Until they lose to the Bloodline like they did, but the difference is, in this case, DIY would have held the tag titles for a much longer time, and that would be great for themselves, and maybe even they could end their run as a tag team and start a new journey in singles competition. But what if, when Ciampa went for that white noise, Tyler Bate could manage to counter it and get down from up high and counter Ciampa's attack and climb the opposite side of the ladder once again, but this time he could take Ciampa down from the top. In this case, there's no DIY, there's no other superstar who could stop Tyler Bate from winning the Raw Tag Team Championships. That's it, New Cat Republic with a massive push, winning the Raw Tag titles at WrestleMania. But their run wouldn't be much different compared to Awesome Truth, and they could lose it to the Judgment Day. But the next match is the tag team matchup where Santos Escobar is teaming up with Dominic Mysterio to take on the WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio and the returning Andrade. If Santos Escobar would go for the Phantom Driver after he hit the Meteora, and Dominic Mysterio would be handling Andrade in the ringside, taking him out, Rey Mysterio wouldn't be having any other choice but to stay down for 3 seconds so Escobar and Dominic could get the win. In this case, It will affect Dominic Mysterio's storylines with the Judgment Day after he finally defeated his dad, even though Santos Escobar was the one who got the win. And also, this win could make things a lot more interesting on Friday Night SmackDown because Andrade would continue his rivalry with Santos Escobar as they brawl in the backstage many times until at some point Santos Escobar picks Andrade up in the powerbomb position and slams him onto the equipment box, which takes Andrade out, so he is injured and Escobar is standing tall, defeating one of legendary fan favorites at Wrestlemania and also taking out Andrade could make him and the entire Legado del Fantasma a massive heel on Friday Night SmackDown, and that could make him go after the United States Championship. Remember, the United States Championship Invitational in 2023, where Santos Escobar won it and even defeated Austin Theory clean and pinned him, but not in the United States Championship match. In that match, the title wasn't on the line, and later that month, when the championship match was about to take place, Rey Mysterio replaced him and won the title instead of Escobar. So Escobar finally won the title that he thinks it's his, but Andrade could return at somewhere like SummerSlam to take on United States champion Santos Escobar for the US title, and in this case, could be winning the championship to dethrone Santos Escobar as the United States champion. A good push for Andrade. And also, Santos Escobar wouldn't be in the situation that he is right now. But next, it's a much more important matchup, the Usos Civil War. Jimmy Uso, who was in the Bloodline back in the time, versus his twin main event, Jey Uso. Imagine if Jey wouldn't kick out of the splash that Jimmy delivered. Jimmy Uso would be the winner, and he will have this massive win in his hand to prove everybody that he is better than his younger twin. But the thing that could happen next is related to the bloodline, which we will get back into that in the second episode while we are analyzing what would happen if Roman Reigns retained his title. So for now, we're walking past this match, and we're now here for the 6-woman matchup between Damage Control, Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Dakota Kai taking on Naomi, the EST, Bianca Belair, and also Jade Cargill, who's having her first WrestleMania match. Imagine if Kairi Sane could land with the insane elbow on Naomi and go for the cover while Dakota Kai is handling Jade Cargill and Asuka kicking Bianca Belair in the ringside, they would be getting the win. A massive win for Damage Control, but if you ask me, we should be grateful that this didn't happen, because the only thing about this storyline is Damage Control would be having Jade Cargill's first WrestleMania ruined. But that wouldn't change anything, because she would be coming back to continue her rivalry with her as well as Bianca Belair, so they could team up with each other, take on the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at somewhere like Backlash Premium Live event, just like they did in real life. And of course, in that case, they would win the titles. So we're thankful that this didn't happen. But we have an Intercontinental Championship match in our way, ladies and gentlemen. Sami Zayn was challenging Gunther, the ring general, for the Intercontinental Championship. What if the 666th day of his title reign wouldn't be the last day in this historic run as the Intercontinental Champion? Gunther elevated the value of this title like it's not a mid-card championship anymore. It's worthy like a world championship. But what if Gunther could manage to counter the brainbuster from the top and land on his feet to take Sami down? In that case, Sami was in position, so Gunther is able to hit a powerbomb to Sami Zayn, but not only one, he delivered many powerbombs earlier in the match, and he's here to deliver more of it. Sami Zayn is smashed, and Gunther locks him in the sleeper now, and Sami has nowhere to go, so he passes out. He fades, so the referee calls for the bell. Gunther is still the Intercontinental Champion, and his title reign would be longer than only 666 days. But the thing that could happen next is on Monday Night Raw. when we see Chad Gable with Sami Zayn in the ring talking about how disappointing his loss at WrestleMania was. Chad says he started training way sooner than he trained Sami, and after all those trainings, Chad is better than the old Gable who almost defeated Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship and who believes he wasted his time with Sami. And when Sami's back is turned, Gable takes him down from behind and betrays Sami Zayn. In this case, we would have a more logical reason for Chad Gable to turn heel. Sami Zayn is being punished by the Master Olympian because Chad believes he is a massive disappointment and he wasted his time by training Sami Zayn. He thinks that Sami didn't actually beat him to earn a shot at Gunther's Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, and that's why he's punishing him. This could lead into a rivalry match where we could have the formation of the American Maid in it, where the Creed brothers are distracting the referee in the ringside while Chad Gable rakes the eye of Sami Zayn, while referee has no idea about it. So Chad Gable is taking advantage, and when the ref returns, he only sees Gable delivering a chaos theory to Sami Zayn. And that's how Gable could get the win in his final rivalry match with Sami Zayn with the help of the Creed brothers to form the American Maid. But Sami wouldn't stay back, would he? So that's why he's facing Gable once again, but this time the Intercontinental Champion Gunther is also putting his title on the line in a triple threat match at SummerSlam. While Gunther is taken out, Gable delivers the chaos theory to Sami Zayn, and with no Gunther to break the pin, Gable wins the Intercontinental Championship. This time no Creeds, and also Gunther lost his title without even being involved in the decision of this matchup. But now we're here to see what would happen if the biggest tag team match of WrestleMania history would be booked differently, where the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins was teaming up with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who also was going to challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed title the following night to take on the returning final boss Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. The winner team of this matchup determines the stipulation of the match in Night 2, where if the Bloodline could get the win, the match on Night 2 would be Bloodline rules. Otherwise, if Seth and Cody could get the win, the match would be Bloodline free. Imagine what would happen if, after The Rock delivered the People's Elbow to Cody Rhodes and went for the cover, Cody Rhodes would be able to kick out. In that case, Rock would be screaming in disbelief, but he would continue to punish Cody Rhodes. This is the time he calls for Roman Reigns to enter the ring. He's screaming for him to hit the spear. This is going to be an assisted spear, assisted by the final boss. And here comes the Tribal Chief. Roman is going for the spear. But Seth Rollins is here, dragging Roman Reigns out to the ringside. The Bloodline plan is ruined because Seth Rollins is delivering a massive pedigree face first in the ringside. Also in the ring, Cody Rhodes with a couple of elbows to the midsection of the final boss counters his attack and picks him up in position for a crossroads. But he's not done yet. He rolls through. He wants the trifecta. We also see Seth Rollins on the top rope. The trifecta is delivered. Cody Rhodes picks the rope up, sets him in position for Seth Rollins to dive on him for a massive stomp from the top. And then Cody, who's the legal competitor, goes for the cover. And a massive win for Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. They pinned The Rock, one of the legends of this industry, to get the win and make the match a Night 2 free of the Bloodline.